Well, hello, John Wood. I'm the CEO here at Healthcare Alliance. I have the pleasure today of speaking with one of our alumni, Cassidy, along with one of our, colleagues as well now. Cassidy's had quite the journey. It's just a story that I resonate with heavily. But yeah, Cassidy, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
All right. Well, thank you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my name is Cassidy, and I have been working with Oasis now since February. Um, and I have just completed my treatment at Oasis, and I finished in February. And it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm really grateful to be here with you now.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Yeah, it's so interesting watching individuals like go through treatment, right? Because it takes so much faith on your side. And I kind of want to know, like, on the front end, when you're trying to make a decision on like where do I go, like what the fuck's happening,
Right.
where do I go? Am I okay? No, I'm not okay. Are
Not okay.
these people gonna hold us in place? First of all, like, how did you find us? And then second of all, like, what do you think gave you the internal strength to like pick up the phone, or was it a family member that pushed? Walk me through that a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's a really interesting space to start. I was not okay.
Yeah,
and,
right. Neither was I
right.
when I was starting.
And I
Absolutely not.
finally like had to acknowledge that I was not okay and that I
So
wasn't.
hard.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to fix any of it by myself.
Yeah.
And so I started looking for treatment centers, and I decided that's really what I needed to do. I needed to be in a supportive environment, and I wanted to be in the mountains, and I wanted to be in Asheville. I actually lived here when I was a little girl,
Oh wow.
so it was almost like a coming home. My family doesn't live here anymore,
Oh,
but I spent.
but your family had a house here when you
Yeah.
were, what age?
I was in, let's see, fifth grade through middle school.
Oh wow. So you were, yeah.
So we
You remember a ton
yeah,
of
I
that,
remember
yeah.
it really well.
Which
And
middle school did you go to?
I it was in Weaverville.
Okay.
I'm like, which I don't even know the name of it,
Yeah.
but it was such a beautiful experience growing up here during that time. Like I had a lot of friends. I had like a just
Yeah.
like a healthy family life, and so that I have joyful memories of Asheville.
That's
And
awesome.
but when I was looking for a treatment center, I was looking for a supportive group and a holistic one.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted somewhere where they had art therapy. I wanted somewhere where they had yoga. I wanted somewhere in the mountains in Asheville where it's, the oldest mountains in the world and it's really healing energy. And Oasis jumped out at me immediately.
Mm.
Like immediately
And when you
because
say jumped out, was that via like getting online and
it
searching?
was.
Okay.
It was. I was
Okay.
online,
Sweet.
like
You got
on the
lucky.
Google.
We got lucky. Because now we've developed into like colleagues at this point. But anyways,
Well,
continuing.
thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that, and I'm really grateful for that. And it
We are
just,
too.
the reviews of Oasis were so beautiful. People that had obviously come from some dark places had reached a place of healthy, healing, wholeness, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of places that didn't seem to be taking a holistic approach. Like I've never been to a treatment center. This was my first time getting sober, getting clean.
Yeah. By the way, I just found that out like 5 minutes ago that Cassie was a one-hit wonder, and we hope it stays that way forever, right? That like
That's the plan.
you have a life ahead of you of just pure, satisfaction. I like that word better than happiness. Something that you can be satisfied and growing with. But anyways, yeah, first treatment center, I love it.
So I didn't know what to expect. I barely knew what I
Sure.
was looking for. But there was a warmth that came from the people that had been like interviewed and from the staff, just from like looking at their history and their backgrounds. Everyone seemed to, some people were in recovery. Most of them seemed to be, had gone through recovery and were in it, helping carry forth the message of healing and like of recovery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and it's so interesting too because I know that God, I don't want to jump too far ahead because I get into the fact that just feeling so blessed that you are a part of our team now, and I know that there's other things you can do professionally that monetarily would produce more, right? But yeah, I want to get into a little bit prior to that So, what sort of professional experience did you have prior to kind of the addiction being too much where you had to make the phone call? Or what sort of things would you do passion wise? Who were you prior to kind of the addiction really taking over?
Before the addiction got unbearable and completely unmanageable.
Because at first it's great.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It's fun until it's
the
not.
solution.
Yeah. But I've been teaching yoga since 2014 and practicing several years before then. But I came to Asheville to get my yoga teacher training.
That's amazing, yeah.
And now I live next door to that studio and go all the
The
time.
one right downtown?
Yep.
Yep.
But that's what I did for a very long time. Was I was a teacher of
Yoga instructor.
yeah. And it was a point of just a lot of contentment, a lot of joy, a lot of healing that I got to do with other people, and which was healing me. And
Of course.
Eventually, I jumped into the service industry, which took a turn at some point. But at first,
Service industries are tough.
I couldn't go back, and that's why I didn't. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I didn't have to, thanks to you guys.
Wow.
But I
You have a ton of options. We're grateful to have you, yeah.
well, I loved it, and I loved being in the service industry until it just got to be too much. I couldn't balance everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
But I also did things like I worked as a personal assistant and ended up flipping houses for Airbnb.
I love that.
That was really fun. I enjoyed that for several years.
That's a special talent, too. I haven't got to go see the new room downstairs over at Oasis.
It's almost done.
I've heard that it's so much better, but that's a unique talent, though, to be able to take a house, flip it, get it ready for Airbnb, and then manage that.
And then manage the clients that come in through Airbnb. Yeah, that was a big career section, which I really enjoyed and thought about continuing, but the passion that I have for being a yoga instructor kind of won out.
Yeah. Tapping into that spiritual side.
Yeah.
So it seems kind of like you've always been searching kind of for that spiritual connection, that community connection, just deepening,
It's a place that I like to live in now, and now I can, which is really beautiful, being able to have that connection line that's open and not clouded anymore has been one of my favorite gifts that I've received from, treatment at Oasis.
God, I want you to state that again. It's like, that's such a beautiful statement, and it's, I don't want to downplay it at all, because it's so true for me too. And even in sobriety, we can get stressed out to where that goes away a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
And then we have to check ourselves, get recentered, get back into the tools that we know how to use. But if you could just say that one more time, through Oasis, what happened?
So through Oasis, through my treatment with Oasis, I have been able to reside in a space of my spiritual connection. It gifted me that connection that I had lost through my addiction.
Yeah.
And it brought me back to a place where I could stay in it. I could stay in my spiritual connection space.
Yeah.
I felt safe, I felt supported, I felt loved, and it allowed me the time to get back to that connection point.
Yeah. Who you are as a person. Yeah, I love that. So describe for me, and I know you went to Knoxville first to help out with your detox res.
Yes.
Our location, in Knoxville, Tennessee, it's a medical facility. And then stepping down into Oasis. Describe that first week.
At Oasis?
Was it uncomfortable? Was it scary? What was your experience?
It's interesting. I'm trying to think back,
really process it.
I was grateful to be moving forward in my recovery program.
Taking the next step.
Yeah, taking the next step. So I was excited. There's definitely a nervous excitement, but I have that energy a lot anyway. But it really came through where I was, reticent to jump into this house full of women.
Sure.
I was scared. Yeah. Sure. I didn't know how I would be received. I didn't know how anything operated because I'd never been to treatment, and so I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I will say that my tech at the time was amazing. She really explained everything she was doing.
Are we first name dropping or not?
I'm happy to name it.
It
was Margaret.
Oh, Margaret.
And I loved her.
Bless her, yeah.
And she was really wonderful, and like she took the time to talk to me and explain to me like how everything worked and what we were going to be doing. And she introduced me to all the girls, and all the girls were so kind. Like, you know, girls aren't always like super sweet.
No.
And like my
Especially
connection.
not in communal living.
Right.
What I've experienced since 2017 to now is that milieu and that campus can really get out of control energy-wise quickly, and does require some energetic intervention.
It did, but at the same time, when I arrived, I was met with support.
That's huge.
And that was huge because, you know, I was still really struggling internally. So, you know, wanting to stay, do I need to stay?
Yeah.
Like, do I belong here? And like, was a huge question. And I just kept being met with support.
Yeah.
Of like, you are right where you need to be.
Yeah, it's huge.
And that was huge, and it helped me stay.
Gosh, I love that. And I don't know, walk me through your experience. So, how long were you at Oasis for?
6 months.
6 months, okay. And then during that, you know, we have the intensive portion, right? And then we step down into IOP, and then more beyond that. I know you had a coach as well. Just walk me through how that works for you.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of it, is that my treatment plan was very I don't want to say unusual, but I don't think
super unusual.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected. My
Yeah.
family was so supportive. Like, they really surprised me by how much they turned up for me.
The interesting thing I want to say about your family too is like they were on board for literally whatever clinical recommendations were. Despite what, you know, the expenses or anything. That's one thing, like, it was so refreshing because despite everything you've been through, different challenges you've had, your family was just like, yes.
My whole family showed up.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
That had to feel so good.
It was really reaffirming that, like, I deserve the help that I'm seeking.
Yeah.
And when it was provided by Oasis and my family, I felt just a lot of grace and gratitude in receiving the help that was really hard to ask for.
Yeah.
But my expectations were always met, and honestly, more than I had imagined it would be. Like, it was, I received so much more than I could have imagined.
I love to hear that.
It was really, really amazing. You know, and it helped me stay. Like, I was allowed to, you know, go to yoga classes with these amazing instructors, and we had yoga in the treatment center, but I also got to go outside the treatment center to take classes. And I did like still point. We did the deprivation tank, and it was amazing. So I had so many opportunities.
That's just like, you better be able to meditate, or you're gonna be stuck in your head because you can't feel your body, and you're just kind of floating in the cosmos. And
that
if
was
you're
my
not
favorite.
okay with yourself in a deprivation tank, like, you're gonna have a bad hour. But if you're good to where you just calm down and breathe, I love that. Like, any back pain I have, anywhere I'm at, it kind of just slows you down.
It really does. That was one of my favorite things, and that was suggested by Oasis. They're like, why don't you try this? And I was like, you know, I'd never done it before. It was outside of my wheelhouse, and I went back, I think, 2 more times because it was so great. But they also offered things like body work and like acupuncture, massage therapy, and like, for someone like me that does a lot with my body as a career field, having the opportunity to have like somatic therapy where I'm releasing trauma from my body was just exactly what I needed, and didn't think I would be able to find that at a treatment center. Yeah,
and it's tricky too because I feel like, especially over the last 3 years, you see a lot of these websites. And I know a lot of like what treatment centers are advertising that they're doing. But one of the things that you pointed to about Oasis that is so true is that it is a bit odd. It is a bit different. It actually is fully interchangeable and individualized.
Very.
And you were the perfect example of that because, I'm just going to be frank with you, every day was not a good day.
Very true. I was
every week was
lot.
Not a good day. Yeah, you were a lot, and it was wonderful that you were allowed to be a lot. You know?
Was. I was met with nothing but like loving kindness, no matter how unhinged I was in that moment. People took the time to help me calm back down, to like find a center and to find solutions for whatever I was experiencing that wasn't great, you know, like in my own head, and I needed that help.
And I'm curious, like vaguely, like what were some of those mental battles, if you don't mind? I know it's like digging a little deep, but like, what were some of the things going through your head? Was it ever like, because like for me, gosh, I remember starting like, first of all, I felt completely useless. I felt like I was worth nothing. I felt like it'd probably be better if I just died. At this point I had kids too, the last time around. I had 2 kids at that point, and it's like, if it wasn't for them, I don't know. I felt so low, and the voice in my head had to be retrained. But I'm curious, like, if you can tap in and remember, because you've worked through it, and I know it's constantly working through it. It's not every day is perfect. But yeah, what were some of those big sticking points? Like,
John, I was in denial
yeah,
for like
okay,
decades.
I love this.
Like decades of denial. And my inner voice was so harsh. It was so harsh and relentless.
I resonate, yeah.
And I did need it to be retrained, because what I had developed was such negative self-talk of, like what you said, is feeling worthless, like not feeling deserving of receiving the help.
Yeah.
And because there was just, I had been delusional for so long that, of course, drugs and alcohol were not a problem. That's not the problem. There's a lot of problems right now, but like that's not the problem.
Yeah.
So my willingness,
got that under control.
Yeah, but to be accepting and like to practice acceptance that I am where I need to be. I do have a problem, and it is like the drugs and alcohol are creating a problem, and like of course it's me, I'm the problem, but like I've had to learn through that, like that I could change my behavior, that I can train my brain to think differently, that I can train myself to feel my emotions and process them and like integrate what I've learned. And that was huge for me, because I mean, there were a lot of unsettling feelings that I carried around with me
all day, every day. Yeah, it's crazy though, because I feel like you're the type of person who still kind of shows up, you know what I mean, and puts on that face. I like to call it like, I'll just send my representative in if I'm having a bad day, right? And my representative is pretty on point.
Right.
But internally, that struggle needs to be looked at some point. Else, if you just let that go on and on and on, well, then you need something to numb that. Right, so
like if I didn't want to face the emotions that I was experiencing, I had a
plethora
of options to like hide.
Sure.
To hide behind. And when I was basically allowed myself to just be stripped to a place of realness.
Yes.
Where I couldn't deny any longer what I was doing and how it was affecting me and my family and my loved ones, and how I wasn't going to make it out if I didn't get help.
Yeah.
And that acceptance, that like first step acceptance was huge.
No, it's massive. Massive just to be able to tell yourself in your head, I actually do have an issue. Massive to be able to say, like, my mental health is not well. This negative self-talk, I don't deserve this. I got to a point to where it's like, I don't deserve to wake up every morning and be bashing myself, right? I think we resonate on that.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
And the interesting thing is, like, you're a high-performing individual. Like, you put a lot of energy into everything you do. You're creative, and a creative is just someone that, like, I think you're always kind of outside of the box. You might not fit in boxes.
Not too well.
I never fit in the box. But, yeah, I want to know, like, how in those moments were you able to kind of get through those, and were there specific therapeutic modalities or therapists during that time that really helped you through that?
So between Maddie and Joseph as my life coach and my therapist, having both of them together,
good team.
They were an amazing team. And they worked together as I would like reveal the things that I was not ready to show the world or anybody else, but as I developed relationships with them and was able to safely confide in them, which was honestly, it didn't take that long, because
how long did it take? A week, 2 weeks?
I mean, yeah, by my second session with each one of them, I felt pretty open.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you trusted them as individuals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they were very insightful and really open-minded to whatever I was talking about, because I'm dual diagnosis, so
Sure.
I'm dealing with some like mental disorders
Mhm.
that need specific medications and an addiction on top of it.
Sure.
And they were just so really everybody always says, but especially them, helped me understand like my trauma patterns. They helped me understand like that EMDR could be really therapeutic for me because my PTSD was really intense and yeah,
Off the charts.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, I had a really hard time.
Mine too.
Um,
It's like that's the beautiful thing about like I think back on like all the bullshit that I've been through, and I still go like it's still life, right? I still got things going on today to where I'm like, really, John, like how would you put yourself in this situation, right? And but no, like having a safe place to actually talk and work through that stuff is monumental.
I will say one thing is that it was really a game-changing experience when I ended up staying another month in the PHP house, right? I was ready to go. I was like, I'm done, I'm out.
I remember,
And
yeah.
then I think, my family and my clinical, team were like, you could probably use some more time. And I was so mad. I was so mad.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I thought I was done, I thought I was healed. And and I'm so grateful that everyone talked together and like worked together on my behalf because they loved me, like my family and your staff, like
Treatment team, yeah.
they cared for real. And I remember sitting in the PHP house on like into the second month, right? And I just had this really amazing feeling of safety. Like a feeling safe, like no one's gonna come into my room and like freak out and be angry with me. No one's
Sure.
gonna yell at me. No one's going to like hurt me.
Yeah.
I was safe.
You're safe.
And I don't know the last time that I had felt like that. And it was a huge deal. And then it allowed me to like settle in. So I was so grateful for that second month because I knew what was happening, I knew what we were doing, and I felt safe.
Yeah.
And the longer I was able to stay, like the better it got.
For sure.
For sure.
I love that because like as individuals, it takes so long to figure out like when your cognitive lights come back on, when you start to remember like, oh, that's my inner child in there like kicking and screaming. But when like my inner child, when that little boy inside starts to feel safe, is when I can start to get work done. So it's so wild that the recommendation was given. It was a good recommendation because the cognition came in that second month in intense treatment.
It did.
And those cognitions are the things that can push you through. But I think that's so beautiful that within housing and everything else, like you felt safe.
That was a huge deal.
Yeah, it almost made me tear up a little bit just because like the feeling of safety is the first step to like healing. You have to be surrounded in a safe environment in order to be able to do that deep work that you're feeling shame about, right? Yeah. I have 3 different tattoos that all in some sort of way are forgive thyself, in some sort of different words.
I love that. My sponsor's really big on grace. That's our keyword all the time. She's like, okay, so are we giving ourselves grace today? I'm like, yes.
Or we're beating ourselves up.
Yeah, she always knows too. I love her.
I love that. So now today you work a program. You have a sponsor.
Yes.
AA, NA?
So I'm working an AA program with my sponsor, but I attend NA meetings, AA meetings.
Do both?
I do both.
Beautiful.
Honestly, when I was at the PHP portion or the IOP portion of my treatment, I would walk over to an AA morning meeting, and it would set my day right. And then, but in the evening, I'd get squirrely. I'd be like,
sure.
Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I'd go to a second meeting, usually an NA meeting at night.
And that's when
months.
you transitioned into our private housing for a while,
Yes.
correct? And then did the IOP,
Which was beautiful. It's right downtown, and I could like walk to all the meetings. Like, I didn't have a car yet, and so it was just I could walk to the center. I could walk to my meeting. It was ideal.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved that.
That's awesome. And it's also a scary step though, because like you're coming from having staff around 24/7, into being kind of in your own space, still within one of our spaces.
Right.
Like if you ever need us, we're there, 100%. But yeah, we felt like it was time, and clearly it was. But I imagine some of those nights were tricky.
Yeah, but that's where like the training I had kind of come to receive at Oasis was like, okay, well here's what we do when we're not feeling settled. Like, go to a meeting, call your sponsor, call one of us, like, call your network. And like they really helped like harp on that, as well as like doing some basic things like take your meds. It like started me on good habits.
Yeah, you gotta take your meds. Gotta take the medications.
But meetings, meds, and support were all like just, it had been instilled in me already because of the PHP program. And like IOP just helped me further along my sense of autonomy of like, hey, I can do this on not on my own, but like in a safe space. Oasis is still right there. Like I felt supported.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then let's fast forward to like graduating and moving on to the next step. You were with us for 6 months, I believe, correct?
Yeah, it was a little less than 6 months. Like mid-February is when I graduated IOP, and I also started teaching yoga.
Yes. At that point. Yeah, that's an interesting thing that we normally don't do. But with you did advance so quick and you did so much deep work that we were comfortable with it. And it was one of those things that there's a risk, right? But at the same time, like that's what you did as a profession in the past. And you do bring like this light beam of energy. It's like if you continue to take care of yourself, I knew that was going to go well.
I was so grateful for that opportunity. Like I am still so grateful for that because it keeps me clean. Like and on such a part of. I feel very connected to everybody that's like our clients that are there, because when I was in like the PHP and IOP, like having yoga come in was some of my favorite practices. And you have amazing instructors there like while I was there, and they're still there. But it's something that I got to like give back. And that is so important in recovery for me, is to like continue carrying on the message of like, these are tools for your toolbox for when you're freaking out. You have something else to do besides go back to what you've always done. And that was a monumental like aid for me while I was in the program.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and the obscurity of the program too that I don't think comes across, especially on initial calls. We try the hardest we can do, but is how the ecosystem of the safety container that you kind of referred to, not as that, but like you felt safe within the container, is always evolving depending on who the individuals that we're working with. Because everyone's game plan is slightly different. But then, yes, you graduated through. I remember when I got that email. Don't know if it's a good idea, bad idea. You really want to be part of the, help out and do yoga classes with the clients. And I remember being like, yes, definitely, let's give this a shot. Thank you. And then I remember going over there, you might not have even noticed me, but it just seemed like your light was on. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's ever shut off. Because we've had other staff meetings to where like you always have put your hand up to want to do more, to want to be more involved, to give back more. So walk me through like what do you do for us today? Like what does your work / self-care routines look like on a weekly basis?
Well, I recently started as a BHT, which, I was reticent to do because I was like, I don't know if I can do all that. It seemed like a big deal. And I was like, I'm not ready. But I was really encouraged to just apply, just see how it goes. And I will say that as intimidated as I was to start, every week has gotten better.
I love that.
Because I had a time frame on like how long I was gonna test the waters. And but it got better every week. And the women in the house are amazing. And the support that I've received has been so helpful to like guide me. But like I go to my meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like my home group is a women's meeting, and
love that.
They're amazing. And then I get to go to meetings while I'm with the girls as a BHT Thursday through Monday. So like, but I teach classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
And Sunday, that too, yep.
And
those are morning classes.
Yeah.
So just for example, one of the things we do at Oasis, every morning we start with yoga or meditation or something similar. It's something to get you grounded in your body before the day starts.
So helpful. Yeah. And I get to take time to lesson plan.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to bring to them to help? And I'm relearning it as I am going to teach it, So it just keeps me in this mode of like healing
Yeah.
and investigative work of like how am I feeling so that I can show up and be present.
Yeah.
And so it really puts me in a better place on a daily basis.
Yeah. No, I love that, and I do think that like the most important commodity that we have is time, as humans. And when you're in active addiction like I was, like time doesn't exist. It's like you're good to go anytime it happens if your time comes.
Take off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know. And then we start to get sober and stabilized and everything, and then we just realize like time is this commodity that's, you know, it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you're willing to put so much into your work, it's been noticed. It's been noticed by a lot of other managers and folks over at Oasis. That now you've been given more opportunity. It's like part of me is like, well, I don't want to put too much on your plate too quick, but at the same time, like when we're having staff meetings and the ideas that you have are very valid and things that we would like to implement, you know, of course you're going to get opportunities. So this new one I'm excited about. How do you feel? But do you feel slightly nervous? So one of the new roles Cassidy will be kind of embarking on, hopefully, is one of our social media ambassadors. Something we've always done and we haven't been doing lately is exit interviews with clients. You know, just purely talking about their experience. It's a lot different than podcast format. I mean, I think this is the one podcast we've talked the most about Oasis in, but it is still so fresh, you know, for you.
It is.
It's a big part of it. But yeah, I'm just curious to know more about how you feel like your time commitment with Oasis, and then adding on this new thing that could be scary, depending on if you like cameras or not. I don't mind them much. They're just kind of there.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
The like being at the PHP house, like I've gotten to do more things with the women that are there. Like we have like bonfires on Sunday.
Love it.
And the girls that are leaving, you know, have really expressed a sense of like gratitude for our treatment center and for me. And it's like been such a huge reward to like talk to people on their way out, just on a personal level, and to hear, you know, what helped them, and like to hear that I helped them, and like to hear that Oasis has like given them a new like trajectory for their lives. And so I'm actually like working on, instead of saying that I'm nervous, I'm saying that I'm excited.
It's
nervous
the same
excitement.
thing. Yeah, the energy is so close, right? It just means it's important to you.
Exactly, and it is.
It's nervous excitement.
I think hearing people as they're graduating and they're in a better spot, and they've had like I've seen them come in and I'm seeing them leave, is like a joyful experience for me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's just a trip though, like from our first interaction in Knoxville. Just when, you know, I popped in, said hello, introduced myself, and then feeling your energy then, which I could tell in that moment, like you're a solid human that was battling things inside, right, from stuff that had come up in your past. And then now sitting with you, it's just a complete 180. You know, it's like you really have put your life back together, and you can credit us for that, but you did it. It's like we offer recommendations. We do have incredible staff. Now you're one of them. But yeah, like you did that though. You know, like you take credit for that.
It's been work, but it's for sure the easier, softer way.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not. I was really suffering. Like when I was in active addiction.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I was in a space of suffering, and no
if
matter
you weren't, you wouldn't call.
Yeah, exactly. And no matter how like hard it seems to be in recovery, it's the easier, softer way for me. So like I'm really, really grateful that I was given the opportunity to like regrow and redirect my life. Because I do feel like I'm not the same person that you met in Knoxville.
No, you're not. 100%.
And I'm so glad.
Yeah, right.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to look back that far to see how much has changed.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for that because.
Yeah. I mean, when I had a week sober, 2 weeks sober, 3 weeks sober, like no one really wanted to work. No one would want to work for me. You know, I was a train wreck.
Yeah, it was a hot mess.
Yeah,
2-3 weeks.
And it took me a good 6 months to even build new healthy patterns.
Yeah.
to really retrain my brain on positive self-talk.
Truly.
And then still, like, that's a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month thing that I constantly have to check in with myself on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do I need to add to get back to, like, really positive self-talk? Especially when life hits us.
Life be lifing. It's a little difficult to stay on that positive train, but, like, that takes practice. It just takes practice.
Yep.
Just like yoga, like, rewiring my, like, neural pathways is a daily practice.
Yep.
And I think that I've been able to have the safe space to practice speaking kindly, and, like, by getting to teach yoga, I've been able to stay in that mindset, and it has just and now getting to work with the women at the house has been, it also gives me a place of, like, okay, I'm recovery focused first. If I don't have my recovery, everything else is gonna fall away.
Go by the wayside.
Yeah. And I, like, know that to be true now.
Yeah.
Because I've seen how much I've been given through this program.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a lot, and it came fast.
It came very quick.
It did.
I mean, we definitely haven't allowed someone to come in and do groups like that quick. Like, Greta didn't come in and do yoga classes right away, but you had been with us and evolved so much that it was comfortable. You know, risk, sure, maybe.
I appreciate the risk y'all took.
but in my mind, it's like you had so much to give back, and you have so much more to continue to give back. I can't wait to see, like, where it goes, or what you decide to do in the future. Have you thought about that? Any ideas for, like, the next year, 2 years, 5 years? I mean, you're kind of to the point of your recovery where I'm sure the wheels are turning.
They're turning.
Yeah, and I'd be curious to know kind of where your head's at and everything.
So I've had...
And I'm the type of owner, too, to where, like, if you have these big ideas and big dreams, like, I never form resentments for people to go and, like, chase their dreams. It's what we want. Like, we've had 4 Oasis model clients now open treatment centers.
Wow.
We've had really high-end staff members go out and, like, take small ownerships of companies, then decide they want to come back because that wasn't their vibration. But yeah, I'm so curious, like, what is rolling around there for the next year, 2 years, 5 years?
So for sure, I'm going to stay in Nashville.
Love that.
The recovery community here has been just astounding. I've been so, like, welcomed in, like, every room that I've gone to. So I just love that about Asheville. And so that's, like, my, like, next year. I'm gonna continue growing roots. I used to be like a pick up and go like kind of person. I'm like, I'm gonna cut all these ties and not come back for my stuff and, like, never, you know, burning bridges.
Yeah, well, when your shit's a mess, right? It's so easy just to pack up, get into a new town, and all those new people don't know you're a mess yet.
Exactly.
They find out at some point, then you gotta move again.
Exactly. And I have done that for quite some time.
Yeah, that's my story.
So, but I feel really, like, grateful that I get to grow roots somewhere, and so I'm really working on that. And ideally, over the next, like, 5 years, I really I've had a long-term dream of teaching yoga retreats. I have a girlfriend in Buenos Aires. She's amazing, and she talks to me all the time about, what are you doing? Just come down here. Like, I already have the yoga centers. I just need an instructor. Just come on. And I've always been too messed up to do it. Like, like, I couldn't afford my plane ticket because I was spending all my money on other things.
Of course.
You know. So, like, I just was never well enough. And now that I feel, like, grounded and, like, heart-centered and just, like, a lot more together, that's what I would like to do, is just kind of build clientele for you know, my private lessons that I like to teach, and just kind of grow that community so that when I'm ready to go, I'll have, like, my friends and clients to, like, take with me, and we can go do some retreats and come back home to Asheville.
Gosh, yeah, I love that.
That's my ideal.
Yeah. And so on these retreats, are they like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks?
So I like a week retreat. I feel like it's enough time to, like, know who you're with, and to, like, really immerse yourself in the space to a degree where you just feel like you're safe and kind of homey. I've been on longer retreats, and they're just, like, a little more intense, which I could do that too, but ideally, like, a week to 10 days. And I just want to be able to provide, like, workshops where, you know, I'm teaching you not just, like, yoga, the asana, the movement portion, but that's just 1/8 of a yoga practice, right?
Sure.
It's an 8-limbed path. So I want to get somewhere where I can like
Talk a little about that. Talk about the Elam path. Just
yeah.
quickly, break it down.
So breaking it down just quickly is that yoga is an 8-limbed path, meaning that there are, like, if you look at it like a tree, there's 8 big branches that make up the trunk of yoga. And so I teach a lot at Oasis about the air quote mind stuff, which I got that terminology from the Sutras of Patanjali. And he basically just explains how your mind works. And like the mind stuff is what controlling or the restraint of the mind stuff is the goal of yoga. So that means meditation or dhyana, concentration, and it means like all the things that you're getting into, like just holding your energy, like growing your energy internally, and like creating tapas or building heat, you know, so you're like purifying your body from the inside out with breath work. And so there's just a lot of like pranayama, asana, dhyana, meditation, like there's so many aspects, but they separate it into 8 limbs. And when I teach at Oasis, I always give some type of like meditation for them to like leave with, to like
to
think about,
process, yeah,
because like that's really what's helping. Like I can do yoga postures all day, but if I'm not with the breath and I don't have a single point of focus and I don't have a concentration span, then I'm just getting a solid workout in. And that's helpful too, but like it's not as doesn't go as like deep into like the soul work that I feel like is available through like a deeper yoga practice.
Yeah, I think that describes like what our initial goals were at Oasis. I mean, first of all, it was built for the staff. It really was. Like, that was the first intention. It's like, if I could build a program that's for the staff, knowing that 90% of my staff is going to be in recovery, and if I could have my success rates within my staff of sustaining recovery for long periods of time, that in itself would be a huge success. But then also, like, trying to, you know, shower them with love and support as they, you know, really held space for clients. But yeah, I mean, that kind of describes what we're going for. We're trying to reconnect people with their highest selves, with that inner child, and like have those conversations and get through that trauma and do that internal work.
I don't know if everybody that's like not in recovery understands how much trauma plays a role in addiction.
So much.
I mean, it's huge.
And it's unfortunate too, because I think so many people go through trauma and like I think they get hardened with life. Like, we're kind of blessed that, like, okay, well, I found this thing that works temporarily, and then it fucking tornadoes everything, but then it forces us to go deep, or just be a tornado and lose our lives potentially. You know, so it's a blessing in disguise.
I mean, it's life or death for sure. Like,
yes.
And like I feel very strongly that the point I missed being introduced to like the idea of recovery when I was young was that the disease is progressive.
Sure.
And if you it's they're not yet. So like, unless you can get in, do the soul work, recover from your trauma, rewire your brain, and like learn how to heal, and that takes a community. Like, you may not make it, and a lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So like, and that's what like breaks my heart and like brings me to a space where I'm really grateful to be in a recovery environment to help people have a better life.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm so grateful for that work that you do as well. It's amazing. It's a point that I feel like needs to be talked about. You know, people that struggle with addiction, you know, I don't think we fully process it as life or death. Nor do we care quite as much about our future selves or our inner child during that time. But like, if I go in and like, let's say I break my leg and they got to amputate, right? I'm just going to listen to them, right? I want to live. I want to figure this thing out. Of course, I want to keep my leg if I can. Or if I go in for cancer treatment, if I go in for this, like a brain surgery, you know, there's risks that come with it. But normally we're listening to the professionals. And then oftentimes in the treatment world, we get clients that we give clinical recommendations and they're like, no, I'm going to do it my way. But it's even more life or death in our medical field and our clinical space than a lot of other medical and clinical spaces but yet for some reason we think we got it.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, why wouldn't we listen to the professionals all the time? And that's one thing that you did so well, despite, kicking and screaming a little bit here and there, like everyone else does, and it's very natural. But like, you actually did the work. You followed the recommendations.
I felt like, even though I was kicking and screaming quite a few times,
Yeah, it happens. I
was...
barricaded myself in a room, the one trip center I went to, and I was in detox, natural detox, and fuck, I needed something different than that. I was dying. I was coming off of a ton of stuff. Like, my whole mouth was swollen with pus. I was like 140 pounds. And their detox protocol was niacin, sauna for 4 hours a day, and then cardio on this bike.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, and no medications outside of vitamins. So yeah, I remember day 3, I'm like, I barricaded myself in the room with the bunk beds and put them all in front of the door, and then did this. So anyways, they had to like get me out through the window, but whatever. So I get the kicking and screaming part, right? I was the train wreck client.
Fair.
Yeah.
Me too.
but beyond that, though, like, there came a point in your journey with us to where the light switched. Your willingness switched.
There was trust.
Yeah,
Trust had been
was built, yeah.
And like, I trusted that they had my best interest at heart, which, like, out in active addiction, I didn't trust anyone had my best interest at heart. I didn't have my best interest at heart.
Like, nobody does.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I got to stay as long as I did, because once that trust got developed, I got to go deeper into the healing process, because I was like, well, if they think this is what I need, like, maybe this is what I need, because all of my best ideas have gotten me in the worst places. So maybe it's time for me to stop, like, being so stubborn and hard-headed and doing it my way.
Always directing.
Yeah. Right. And my dad used to give me this phrase of, like, you're not special. When I was in active addiction, I did not understand. I was like, I am special, I'm special. And now being in recovery, like, I understand that it's not that I'm not special in the terms of, like, if it can work for them, it can work for me. I'm not so different. I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that's experienced this. Most people, not most, but you will find someone that has had your experience. Similar.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their unique journey and stuff like that, and I'm a believer that every human is special. I'm also a believer that every human is on the same plane. I don't care, what your IQ is. I don't care what degrees you have behind your name. I don't care, but every human in my mind, we're all humans. Yeah. And we're all here on this little short journey. And like, at this point, finally, I want to get the most I can out of it. Yeah. And it took me to get to a certain point to want to get there.
I think I got reminded of intrinsic value.
Yes.
And that, like, you're valuable just by being. I don't have to do a million things to be valuable. Like,
nope.
But becoming sober gave me that, like, remembrance.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, right. Everybody's valuable.
Yeah, everyone is.
And, like, but I'm not alone in the recovery journey. And that's what I think he always meant by it, is, like, you're not so different.
Yeah, and when we hear that in active addiction, like, you're not special, fuck you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm fucking special as hell.
Right? This isn't going to work for me because I'm so different. And,
yeah, exactly. Right?
But now it's so comforting to know that, like, I'm not alone, and what I'm experiencing is part of the journey.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And that's fucking great.
Yeah, there's another client that I was chatting with yesterday, and not your client, you're a colleague at this point, which congrats.
Thank you.
But brand new client. He had a cognition. He was sitting in there, one of our executive model guys, and he was just saying that it was so interesting for him to notice that the socioeconomic scale of addiction in society does not matter.
Does not discriminate.
No, it doesn't discriminate, and that mental battle is very consistent within all of our heads when we're first trying to recover. We're not good enough. We're shameful of the past. We haven't accomplished enough in our life. We're not going to do anything with our life. Like, it's over, right? and then
Absolutely.
to rebuild that. But anyways, like hearing someone like that, just resonate with every different demographic because we're a melting pot.
You Oasis is a melting
It is
pot,
it's
and
a beautiful melting
it's
pot.
so cool because I
Yeah.
met so many walks of life.
Yes.
And we all found the connection of like our disease and like the groups that come together and like the bonds that are made. Like I still talk to the girls that I went to,
Love that.
know,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, it doesn't discriminate.
No. No, it doesn't matter.
No.
And it's only like bad enough when it's too late. When your life's completely out of control, especially if you have some resources, it's like, you don't know until you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
you think you have it together. Yeah.
And no one else knows. Like
No,
like,
they would never notice. Gosh.
Meanwhile, like everyone knows, and you're like, oh, you guys knew?
When you reach out,
Oh,
yeah, that's the funny thing too. When you reach out to your family for help or like a loved one for help, be like, hey, I have a problem. They're like, we've been waiting for the call.
That's exactly
It's
right.
like,
They're like, oh,
really?
we're so glad you like finally realized it. I was
Yeah.
like, no one told me, and you can't tell anybody.
No.
Like that they have a problem when
Not
they're not
until
ready
they're
to
ready,
look at
yeah.
it. But yeah, my family was so supportive, and I'm really grateful for them.
Yeah. Cassie, if there's one thing that you would tell someone, specifically female, right, that's just sitting out there, feeling hopeless, still using drugs, like put yourself in their shoes for a second again, put yourself back in your shoes, what would you tell yourself? And like just a pure message, that you would tell yourself to reach out for help or whatever it may be. Like what would your message be to yourself back then?
A lot of times in the meetings when we close in a circle, like I will get really emotional taking a space of silence for those that are out there that are still sick and suffering and like don't know that there is a solution. So if I could give a message to myself and to anyone else that was still out there struggling, is that there is help. There is a solution to that suffering.
Yeah.
And that all you have to do is something different.
Yeah.
You've got to do something different. And if that's just ask for help, do it.
Yeah.
Ask for help. Because I think a lot of people, I know that when I asked for help, I was received with a lot of love, even though I didn't expect to be.
Sure.
I thought that
not.
no one gave a fuck, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things that you find when you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, is that there's help and that you're loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if we don't know you. Like,
yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
And am here to help.
Yeah.
And that's truly the beginning of getting better and having your life be something that you had always hoped it was going to be,
Something you can be proud of.
Yeah. That you don't have to hide and suffer anymore. Like if you put it down, ask for help, and just do something different, your whole life can change.
Yeah.
In the best way, beyond my wildest imagination. I didn't think that I would be here. When I was ready to just absolutely cut the cord on being alive, I was not ready to do it anymore. Not another fucking day.
Yeah.
I never would have thought I would be here a year later.
It's crazy.
Happy
It's crazy.
and healthy and successful, in a lot of ways, with a lot of support and love.
Gosh. And congratulations. You did that. I always have a similar message. It's I personally didn't know that there was other options. I didn't know, sure, I stumbled into a couple AA meetings. I stumbled into a couple NA meetings. And when you're not sober stumbling into those meetings, it's confusing as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's what are these people talking about?
Right.
Wow, why are these verses being said? What is this a cult? And it's no.
I mean,
they're just trying to get better. They're trying to support each other. But yeah, that's my thing too. It's no matter how bad you feel about yourself, there is people out here to help. We do this for a reason. We do this to give back. We do this to help others and to like watch their paths. The thing that gets me so excited is being able to do an interview with someone like yourself that came through our program. And I love that we got to have a very short but early interaction to where I got to feel your energy then and then feel your energy now and then kind of watch the progression through. I'm excited to see what the next year looks like.
Thank you. Me too.
Yeah. And I'm very grateful that you're part of the team.
I'm really grateful to be a part of it. It's been an amazing experience. I'm really glad that Oasis and you guys came into my life. I came into the center.
Yeah, I mean we're blessed. Any last things you want to say at all to anybody out there?
I mean, to anybody out there that's still out there, I would recommend this this way of life. I have received so much that I never could have imagined being possible when I was in active addiction, and to feel how I feel today compared to like our early interaction when I was 85 pounds and insane.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, one reason I knew you were quite special though is for that quick brief interaction, you locked it the fuck in. You know what I mean? I was like, she sent her representative to meet me.
I did.
She locked it in. She seemed very normal, very cognitive aware. But I could see through that, right? Because I've I've been there.
Takes one to know one.
Yep, and I could lock it into at any moment. But I had high hopes for sure. Even back then, I was like, if this works out, it's gonna work out really well. So.
And it has. I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah, good. No, we're blessed, but yeah, thank you again for spending time with me, for being a part of this team, and as always, like we hope you're, even if you move on to some next step, we hope you're always somehow a part of our community.
I'll be in your alumni crew forever.
Perfect. Thank you, Cassidy. I appreciate
thank you, John. I appreciate you too.
Yeah.